We could.
Welcome to Mugcast. Today we're talking about Pokemon Horizons,
Whoa!
the animated series.
Uh, I like it.
2023, baby.
It's pretty decent. It has had some filler issues like the last few months. There has not been much progress. Episodes were often delayed, and often the episodes that came out were filler. Like the last 7 episodes, I think were like half filler.
Yeah,
Yeah, definitely not the last 7 episodes. That's like way more. But I mean, for what it's worth, the obvious observation to make is that it's all original stuff. It's not filler in the literal definition. But also, yeah, no, they are.
The main story gets paused for a moment, and when we do just get an episodic episode.
well, I
Yeah,
feel like Pokemon's always kind of been like that because there's always
yeah,
like random episode that spotlight a certain Pokemon, which it's still doing, and I do like a lot of those episodes. But I mean,
yeah,
because the Bramblegast one, I fucking loved that episode. That was a lot of fun. But the
yeah.
Like,
Oinkologne episode, well, probably the weakest episode
I,
so far at all.
yeah.
Yeah,
Also,
it's
I do
just
think that this season of Pokemon specifically has been like more story focused than other ones. So I guess
yeah,
it feels like more impactful to have like
That's
a
true.
fillery episode.
yeah. No, it definitely
Especially like the first like I don't know like 14 episodes or something where like there was like no filler episode really in there. I would say
Yeah.
like
probably
if it was
longer
like
than that even.
fillery, it was like still like setting up things that are about to happen in the next episode. Or
Yeah, no, it's very
something.
because this series is an adventure series. Honestly,
I mean, Pokemon has
there's a
been.
villain team. Well, yeah, but you know what I mean. The villain team
Pokemon
are a
is like
lot
an
more
adventure
like
show.
actively involved and antagonistic. There is an overarching goal that's like clearly defined, and for which the steps to get there are like obvious. You know, it's not like I want to be a Pokemon master, which is just like vaguely defined enough to where they can do anything with it. Which obviously isn't a criticism; it's just a different structure, really.
Hmm.
Um,
Yeah,
It
cause
has
second
a
it's
real
like,
plot.
observation.
well, I
It has
think
a
I
real
think
plot.
it's
Who
just
goes first?
well, as opposed to just being like a vague goal of getting stronger and better and eventually being the best. This time it feels there's like a mystery plot involved of unraveling the past but behind Lucian or whatever his name is, and
Yeah,
it's
Yeah.
got that like I guess the Dragon Ball type thing where you're going around trying to find a certain number of different things. They have to find the six big Pokemon or whatever, which is a common trope that you see all the time. Um, but I think the reason that is the case is because it's just good. It works very well for an adventure show.
yeah. Um, you know, it works. It's
Like
fun. I think
the Pokemon
when the
choices are
first
also like
couple episodes
interesting.
were coming out, by the way, we observed that it almost felt like the movies, sort of, just that difference in having all these historical pieces of information that influence the present day. Um, we get to see a lot of interesting Pokemon because of it, as Banda was just about to say. Um, it's a strange selection of Pokemon, I will say. Which, to be fair, I kind of appreciate anyway. It's
It's like
more
half
fun.
legendaries, and you just
Yeah,
randomly have Olive in there in the team.
yeah. Olive Cleavard, Lapras, Galarian Moltres, Rayquaza. I don't
Yeah,
remember the
Entei,
Entei.
other two.
Entei's
Yeah,
Ante, that's
regular
right.
Entei,
Yeah.
by the way.
Um,
Obviously
yeah.
not gouging fire.
that'd be
That'd be
too cool,
awesome.
wouldn't it?
I wonder why they
But yeah,
chose the
that's
six Pokemon they did. I wonder if it
It
is
yeah,
feels
just kind of
genuinely
like
it's
random.
random picks or if there's some kind of significance behind them.
Maybe they are
yeah. No,
supposed
I
to
mean,
symbolize something.
for what it's worth, with Cleavor specifically, they called attention to the fact that oh, this isn't really a Pokemon that exists in the modern day quite as such,
Hmm.
um, which is cool. Lapras was Lapras. I feel like was probably the safest pick of the lot. To be fair, just because it's Lapras. It's
Yeah,
just one
Lapras
of
feels like the least out of place next to like I mean the Rayquaza are obviously as well to some degree because it's like
yeah,
those like
shiny
the big
Rayquaza,
Pokemon.
by the way.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Um,
obviously. Hey, when they do Rayquaza, they make it shiny because everyone else is like super awesome.
because Rayquaza is super fucking awesome when it's shiny. Yeah.
mhm.
This
um,
this Pokemon anime, like, while it has been like really fun for most of it, it has been like one of the most messiest as well. Like the plot is like sometimes like weird and silly. Like the start, she's like at the academy, then they take her away. They go like someplace for a bit. They go to her dad, and then the dad is like, "Oh yeah, you can like do like COVID like style schooling." but everyone else is in class. You're like just there for a screen. And then they go to our places, and then like 30 episodes in, they recognize, oh, we should probably go back to Paldea, where we will like only the first like 2 episodes or something.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
that's weird. And I
Actually,
mean,
they go to Paldea, then they leave Paldea, then they go back to Paldea, then they go to Galar, and then they go back to Paldea. Like it's like all over the place. It's like super strange. In general, like honestly, the Liko plot with like Liko is allowed to go to school but also be there was like super confusing. Like it was like hyped up as this like really rough thing to ask, but then the dad was like, "Oh no, you can do it." And apparently, there's also like no problem with school or anything. Like you can just online school, and everyone else is not doing it, but Liko can do it, and apparently there's no problem with it. It's just kind of messy and weird, and like they constantly go back and forth for places. Like the only thing about the series which is like kind of criticizable in the sense that it feels
it's
like weirdly planned out. Like
Mm.
like
like just event like they could have probably smoothed these events out more, where they are not constantly just going between regions every other episode. Which they could have probably like just moved the order of events, where a lot of the Paldea things happen at the start, then they move to Galar for a bit, and then they return to Paldea. Don't like the back and forth and back and forth and back and forth.
Yeah, I don't know why they chose to do it in that way. Because I would have preferred if it was just kind of Paldea the whole time. It feels weird that it's
I
not
guess
the way that they did it.
they probably went for Galar specifically because of the Galar Moltres pick.
Yeah, but I mean, Claire
Which,
Moltres didn't have to be a pick.
oh yeah, that's like if they just didn't pick that one, that would have been better. And they instead of like we have had 2 gym leaders highlighted so far, and one of them is one of the Gen 8 ones. It's like strange. Okay, technically speaking, obviously the VTuber girl, like she's also highlighted, but like
Hmm.
not really, because we have like met her as a gym trainer. We have met her just as like a friend.
Yeah.
yeah.
But I mean, she's cool. Like I love the bits with her.
Hmm.
For what it's worth, right? Like the the thing about Horizons, which we haven't even really addressed yet, is that this is like a new Pokemon series after more than 2 decades of the old one with Ash, wherein he would go to a region, do its league, probably not beat the champion, and then go to the next region, do its league, etc., etc.
Wow,
For
because we're way better characters than Ash ever
yeah, no,
was.
no, I like them as well. But where I was going with that is like they seem to want to make this. I don't know how long like Horizons is planned for. Obviously,
Hmm.
there's a lot that's still like up in the air. Are we
I
gonna
think
go to the new
about
region? If we
yeah,
do,
it's
are we gonna
almost
get new
over already.
characters? Are we gonna keep these characters? Are the Pokemon gonna evolve? Are we gonna new starters? Blah blah blah. But where I'm going with that is like the traveling between several regions thing is a good angle for them to take in terms of like being a bit more flexible, you know, not needing to reset the plot like every new season.
Hmm.
Um,
Honestly,
but
like the only problem I think, like I wanted it would be dope if we like actually changed cast every single season of Pokemon. The problem is I'm not sure whether they want to like come up with a new cast of characters every single time a new game comes out. So I
oh
think
yeah,
it might
that's
be
like a
same.
I
Like
don't know what they'll go for, but
I
probably
think
not that just
thematically
because
it would be like
marketing stuff
appropriate
really.
for Liko and Roy to not be there for Gen 10 or whatever. But I think like for more economic, for those kind of reasons, they're like, no, we're not gonna switch up like these like 8 characters we designed in this cast after a year of like anime being produced.
Yeah.
Yeah, it seems like it's just like a marketing thing. You'd want to keep them for a while, but then if they do a Gen 10 and we keep Liko, then it's like, so is she gonna keep Niaoha or like get the new starters or like again, those are questions that are very conditional on where the show ends up
I think it's more like
over however
Terrapagos
many years it
would
takes.
have to be gone, even though like it was so much about Terra. Like Terra Journey is mostly about Terrapagos right now,
Hmm.
and Terrapagos
Yeah,
probably
to a
won't
degree.
be in Gen 10, so it would be like I mean, to be fair to some degree, like Terrapagos being unified with Lucian or something is like expected, but like it kind of like only cuts out like the plot line of like them like staying together. It's like no, Terrapagos has to go if she will be like the next generations, especially because Terra won't be in Gen 10. Which then it's also like how like it would be like a weird justification probably again like hey terrestrialization is kind of old and lame. You should only use a new gimmick and not terrestrialization. And Legos be like awesome.
I mean,
Yeah.
for what's worth, Liko has never targeted a Pokemon.